A very good morning to all our viewers out there. Today I'm welcoming you all from our Knowledge Transmission Center. Hi, this is Bhavika. Today we will be talking about our product Gard Classic. It's a protein drink mix. Before starting with the session, let me all tell you that this session is registered under copyright. So while sharing it, while uploading it in your page or while forwarding it with your friends and family, make sure you do it in its original form. Otherwise you will get into unnecessary trouble and none of us want that. So like I told you, today we will be talking about our product Gard Classic. This is how the product looks like. It's a dietary supplement powder. So before getting to understanding what this product is all about, it is a protein drink mix. So let's understand what is protein, what are the functions of protein, why is it so important that our body requires good amount of protein on in our day-to-day life. So let's understand about, before understanding about protein, let's talk about nutrients. Like we all know, nutrients are environmental substances used for energy purpose, for body function by organism, energy purpose and body functions like the metabolic process that takes place in our body, the entire digestive system, the way it works. So for all the general processes that takes place in our body, we need good amount of nutrients. So nutrients are of two types. The one that is required in a small amount, we call them as micronutrients, and the one that is required in a larger amount, we call them as macronutrients. What are these micronutrients? Micronutrients are those, we have already spoke about it in our previous sessions. It's these vitamins, minerals, iron, zinc, these are all micronutrients. So what are macronutrients? Macronutrients are, like I told you, these are nutrients that we need in larger amount. For example, there are three types of macronutrients. So one is carbohydrate, other one is fat, and other one is protein. So our body requires good amount of carbohydrate, protein and fat. We should not be just focusing on one macronutrient. These days what is happening is a lot of people are going on these so-called fat diets. So what are these? Either you eat small amount of carbohydrate and then you increase your protein intake and increase your fat intake, or it can be vice versa. So trying to focus on just eating a minimum amount of one kind of nutrient and exceeding in eating other type of nutrients can cause the harmful effect in our body. So it has to be eaten in a well balanced form. Each of these macronutrients, they provide energy in the form of calories. For example, so one carbohydrate, we can say that 1 gram of carbohydrate gives us 4 kilocalories. Same way protein gives us the same 4 kilocalories, but 1 gram of fat gives us 9 kilocalories. That's why when we talk about balanced nutrition also, we tell that fat should be taken in a minimum amount. So even if you, like for example, let's say you are eating 200 grams of rice. So if you convert 200 into 4, because 1 gram gives you 4 kilocalories, 200 grams of carbohydrate will give you about 800 calories. So this is how we calculate calories, and we understand according to a person's body's requirement how much of calories is required for a person. So let's understand what protein is all about. So protein is fundamental structure and functional element. Like I told you, our carbohydrate and fat is required in our body. Protein is required in the same format. All the cells and tissues in our body require protein, because without protein the cells and tissues, they do not have a good stability to have their structure, or any processes that takes place in our body. The protein, if there is no good amount of protein, then the process deteriorates or it slows down, and then we can see the symptoms and signs very quickly. It does not it's not like if we have protein deficiency, it's going to take a really long time to see the signs and symptoms. The results are very quick. So it is very important that we have good amount of protein on day to day life. These are large molecules. Proteins are made up of amino acids. So amino acid build, if chain of amino acid results in protein. Protein again provides the body with appropriate, approximately about 10 to 15% of dietary energy. So protein, like I told you, is important as carbohydrate, fat, because it gives us about 10 to 15% of dietary energy, and it is second most abundant compound in the body following water. So how much water is required in our body, how much our body stores water for the general process that needs to be taken care of by water. The same way protein also functions in its own way. So our body requires protein in good amount. So it is second abundant compound following water. So protein is one of that nutrient that is required by our body in a large amount, and our body requires it in that large amount so that it can show those activities, processes that it needs to take care of. What are protein required for? Protein are required for muscle building purposes, for energy requirement, and for all the processes that takes place in our body. And these proteins, so when we take protein, where does it get stored in our body? It gets stored in our muscles, of course it gets stored in our skin, and it also gets stored in our blood. So if there is protein deficiency, there is definitely deterioration of muscle movement, our muscles become very lethargic, our skin deteriorates, our skin starts wrinkling, the blood is not purified, the blood will not function in its normal form. So it is very important that protein needs to be taken on day to day life in a given sufficient amount, so that our muscles, our skin and our blood can do its process in its regular format. So again, protein are about there are about 20 different types of amino acids commonly found in plants and animal proteins. For adults, there is protein is provided in its, it can be either from the animal sources or it can be from plant sources. So all these plants and animals, if they contain amino acids, that means it has good amount of protein in them, and these protein has to be taken so that our body can do its daily purposes, and then we can see its result. Our body requires protein in its general form. So these are different types of amino acid, essential amino acid we call them as. So what are these essential amino acid? Essential amino acid are those that our body requires from the food sources. Our body is not able to make it by itself, so we require these amino acids from the outside sources. So we call this as essential amino acid. The non-essential amino acids are one that our body itself produces. So we do not have to worry about it. If our body produces it in a normal amount, then everything is taken care of. But these essential amino acids should be got from our outside food sources, and it is very important that these amino acids are taken in its right amount. So what is the nature of protein in the diet? So like I told you, most food contain animal or plant cells and will therefore naturally contain protein. Anything, any animal sources or any plant sources, if they contain amino acids in them, that means they have good amount of protein in them. But what happens is, due to the processing that takes place outside, these chemical processes, the body, the way our body functions, we can maybe lose those essential amino acids. So our body also will not build up those amino acids and it won't function in its regular form. So we need to take care of these processes, like for example, overcooking, or if your meat for example gets overcooked, or if it gets burnt, then definitely these amino acids are getting destroyed, and our body will not get sufficient amount of amino acids. So the chemical processes that takes place, or if you keep it for a very long time, again they deteriorate in its function. So again there are other problems. So we need to take care of these all these small things, like it has to be eaten fresh, it shouldn't be kept in the freezer for a very long time. Everything has its time period. So if we take it in its within that time period, then our body can make use of it, and then then we do not have to worry about deficiency or any other symptoms that takes place. The quality of the protein are also important and depends upon the amino acid that are present. So for example, they say non-vegetarian food has good source of protein, so because it has good quality of protein, whereas of course vegetarian food does have good amount of protein as well, but if we do not take it in its regular form, then we wouldn't get it. Like for example, if we take combination of pulses and cereals, because there are two types of amino acid, good quality amino acid, if we take rice products and pulses products together, then our body will get those good quality protein. So that's why most of our Indian diets, if you go to see this idli sambar or dosa sambar, rice dal, because they contain rice and dal pulses in them, we are getting good amount of amino acid that our body requires. So what are the functions of protein? It functions as enzymes. So enzymes acts as a protein. Enzymes require protein, so that the rate of reactions that takes place in our body is in its faster form. Otherwise the processes is very slow, and then our body will it takes a really long time to do its normal function. Like for example, for growth, DNA production, DNA replication, hair growth, all these processes require enzymes, so that the biochemical reaction that takes place, like for digestion, absorption of food, is the rate of reaction is faster if enzymes are present in its natural form, and they are in its good amount of enzymes are present in our body. Every cells, every organs require enzymes, so that these cells and organs can process, do its function in its normal level. If there is lack of enzymes, the processes slows down, and then our body will not be able to function efficiently. Hormones are known as messenger protein, because all the cells, organs, they have they produce hormones. like for example insulin is produced by the cells, beta cells from pancreas. So it does its function of regulating blood sugar level. So if hormones are not in its sufficient amount, if protein deficiency is there, then definitely hormones will not be able to do its function efficiently, and then we can see the result as like in diabetes, or if there is no enough of estrogen production, then it can lead to thyroid, PCOD. So for hormone to do its regular function, protein is required in its sufficient form. Structural protein like stringy protein, fibrous protein, these are required in our body so that the cell can get its structure. Like our body, the skeleton part of body are so well formed, are so well organized. Every cells in our body should be in its normal structure, it shouldn't be going awry. So protein is required so that the cells are in its normal structure. Other, like if there is deficiency of collagen, like if the protein is not in its if we do not take good amount of protein, then our cells shrink. So like for example, collagen is one of the structural protein. If it shrinks, then we can see the result on our skin, wrinkles formation, our skin does not look healthy. If keratin is another structural protein, if it's not strong enough, then there is hair fall seen. So for skin purposes, for hair purposes, for the nails to look healthy, for a body to function in its efficient form, protein is required. Transport protein is again protein, for example insulin, again it has to be transported from it has to be transported to every cell. So it requires, so that we can take care of our blood sugar level. The blood sugar level in our body is normal. So if there is deficiency of protein, then the transport protein will not be able to transport these hormones, or these for example insulin is one of the hormones. So if it's not be, if it cannot transport it, and then you can see a blood sugar level going down, or it can go above or down, and then it can lead to either hyperglycemia, or it can also lead to hypoglycemia. Storage protein, again protein, like for example ferritin is again it gets in the liver. Iron, whatever iron we are consuming, it gets combined with ferritin as a complex in our liver, so that when we have iron deficiency, the ferritin releases this iron to our bloodstream, and then it takes care of the process. So as a storage protein also, it is very important. Like for example, when people go out for a very long, like a voyage, like if they are going for trekking or to Himalaya, so if they are if they are on voyage in the sea, if they go through ship, definitely they will not get good amount of good food outside, right, if they are going for trekking, like I told you. So whatever body stores in its previous form, it gets released in our blood cells, so that our body takes care of all the deficiencies, so it does not lead to deficiency. So as a storage protein, in case even if we fall sick, we will not eat good amount of food. So during that time, these storage protein releases these nutrients into the blood cell, like for example iron to the blood cell, and then it takes care of all the needs. As an antibody, protein is very important, so that antibody can function in its regular form. It can recognize those antigens, those viruses, and destroy them. In movement also, protein is required for our muscles, so that muscles can contract, it can relax. So all the muscle movement, that's why they say people who are who do a lot of muscle activity, where muscles are involved, they have to take lot of protein. For athletics, they require a lot of protein, because their muscles is constantly doing one or the other form of activity. So protein is required in its efficient form. In cell signaling also, each cell they require these signals gets transmitted from one cell to another cell, so that the body can do its normal process. Like for again I will give you insulin as an example. Insulin when it gets transported from one cell to another cell, it regulates its function to balance those blood sugar level in our body. So every cell requires that signal to be transmitted. So for which purpose protein is very important. So how does protein help in weight loss process? Protein required, it helps in digesting the food. So all the process like for digestion of food, absorption of food, these are functional processes that takes place in our body, for which energy is required. So if we take good amount of protein, protein acts as an energy source for all the metabolic processes that takes place in our body. It helps to keep a healthy lean mass, increases our lean mass of our body and decreases the fat percentage in our body, increases our satiety index. That means if we eat good amount of protein, it keeps us full. So that's why if even in our Indian diet, for breakfast especially, we always focus on eating good amount of protein rich food, so that it keeps us full for a very long time. So that's why in weight loss process also they increase the amount of protein, so that it keeps an individual full and they do not have to binge eat or eat snacks during on a regular interval. So it keeps us full. So protein helps to keep our body, it decreases our hunger level, increases thermic effect, that is body increases heat inside the body. Thermic effect is basically increases the heat production within our body. That's why for example all these in cold places, if you go to different cold places in India or all over the world, in that places if you go to notice, the population eats lot of protein to keep their body warm, so that they can keep their body warm from the cold sensation or the cold weather outside. So if you go to, that's why to increase the level of heat production within our body, protein is again very important. It helps in fat burning process and also helps in muscle repair and muscle growth, which is very important to our lean body mass. So how much of protein do we require in a day? We know that we need protein on our day-to-day life, because we understood the functions what protein does. So let's understand how much of protein does our body require in a day. So it depends on person to person. For example, the person's weight, we have to take care of a person's weight, the kind of activity that person is doing, is it sedentary activity, moderate activity, or that person is a heavy activity worker, or the body's condition, like if that person is normal or if he has any kind of these metabolic disorders or any kind of illness. So depending on all these processes, we take care of how much of body requires protein on day-to-day life. On an average, for a healthy person, you require about 1 gram per kg body weight of protein. So let's say a healthy person is about 60 to 65 kg. So he requires about 65 grams of protein. This is for a person of a normal average sedentary lifestyle person who does normal work processes, whose body is in its normal condition, he does not have any kind of illness. He requires about 1 gram per kg body weight of protein. Children requires about 0.85 to 0.95 gram of protein on day-to-day life. Like even if it's like say if there is any kind of illness like cancer, because the metabolic process increases, then we need to take care of protein. We need to increase that person's protein level. So it can go up to 1.2 gram or 1.5 depending on the severity of the condition. For a person who is on dialysis, we also again suggest him protein, because kidney is doing, the kidney is in so much stress that we need to give that person protein. For normal kidney, like if the person is on dialysis, if there is a kidney disorder and that person is not on dialysis, then we reduce the protein intake. So that person requires about 0.5 or 0.7 to 0.8 gram of protein per day. So depending on the condition, we usually recommend certain level of protein per day. So what are these good sources of protein? Where do we get good sources of protein from? Non-vegetarian sources like egg, nuts, again almonds, spirulina, again as good amount of protein in them, chicken, oats, again as not only as fiber, good amount of fiber in them, but it also has good amount of protein, cheese, milk, yogurt, broccoli also as well. We think okay, vegetarian sources means we will not get good amount of protein. Wrong. Broccoli again has good amount of protein. So if we take broccoli on day to day life, we are getting that, how much our body requires, that amount of protein we will get. Lean beef, quinoa, lentils, these pulses, dals, lentils, pulses, these are all have protein in them. Tuna, fish, pumpkin seeds, again shrimp, these are all seafoods, Brussels sprouts, peanuts. So basically non-veg sources, animal sources, milk and milk products, sprouts, pulses, these are all food groups that has good amount of protein in them. Soya again also has good amount of protein. So vegetarians have good amount of food sources from where they can get protein on day to day life. So suppose if we have deficiency of protein, if we are not taking good amount of protein, what are the symptoms that we see? Sluggish metabolism. Like I told you, our body requires protein to do its normal metabolic processes. If there is no good amount of protein, again the metabolism decreases. Trouble in losing weight, if we do not take a good amount of protein, again it can lead to increase in fat. We can increase our fat, so it becomes very difficult to lose weight. Trouble building muscle mass, feeling very tired, low energy, trouble in learning, difficulty in concentrating also. So these are the kind of deficiency we usually see. Moodiness, mood swings, muscle, bone and joint pain. So anytime you see symptoms like this, it's always good that we take good protein in our diet, so that we can eliminate these deficiencies. Blood sugar changes that can lead to diabetes again, slow wound healing, low immunity. So signs that our body isn't getting enough protein. What are these signs? Having high cholesterol level. See, I am not telling only because of protein deficiency you will get these signs. If you are taking too much of fat, if your lifestyle habits are wrong, it can lead to getting cholesterol. Your cholesterol level will increase. I am not even saying might increase, it will increase if your lifestyle habit is very uncertain, if your food habits are very unpredictable, it can lead to high cholesterol level. But protein deficiency also plays an important role in showing these signs and symptoms. Feeling very anxious, moody, mood swings, feeling very dull, our exercise routine is disturbed, we are not able to concentrate on our work, we are not able to get good amount of sleep. So these all can play an important role. These signs can show in its form if there is protein deficiency. A consumer survey conducted by Indian Market Research Bureau across 7 major cities say that 9 out of 10 Indians consume less than adequate protein daily. This was a study that was done that shows 9 out of 10 people consume less than adequate amount of protein. It is a large number. 9 out of 10 people do not take good amount of protein that is required by our body. it added 90% of vegetarian and 85% of non-vegetarian were found deficient. Whether you are a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian per person, you still might have protein deficiency if you do not consume it in sufficient amount. Protein intake of 88% of people was less than the ideal amount, indicating a huge gap in protein requirement and consumption of each individual. So this was a survey, this was a report taken from one article, one source, which clearly shows that Indians have protein deficiency. Whether you are a vegetarian or whether you are a non-vegetarian, we still have protein deficiency only because we are not taking protein in its regular form, we are not taking how much our body requires. So it is a very serious condition. That is why we bring to you Lean Gard Classic. Even though we eat good amount of protein, we still see protein deficiency, either because the chemical process that takes place outside or within our body may alter, and then that can lead to protein deficiency. So we bring to you Lean Gard Classic. It's a protein drink mix, it's a dietary supplement. So if we have protein deficiency or to avoid protein deficiency, we definitely can take this protein supplement powder, because this will take care of all our needs. In what way? We will see it in our next slide. So Lean Gard Classic protein drink mix contains these ingredients: soya fiber, soya protein isolate, inulin, whey protein concentration, vitamins and minerals, curcumin, C3PA and digestive intolerance blend. So let us understand its function. So according to a research, soya fiber, it was when a survey was conducted, over 39 overweight individuals were given soya fiber as a breakfast for 12 weeks, and the results showed that their BMI decreased, their LDL level decreased, overweight and obese people, they were able to lose weight only because they were taking soya fiber. This was a study that was done, and it shows that soya fiber plays an important role in reducing our weight, in decreasing our BMI level, in also reducing the cholesterol in our body. So soya protein isolate is another highly purified form of soya protein that is been extracted from soya bean. So from soya bean, soya protein is being extracted and put in this in our product. It is also reported that it helps in improving our body composition, especially in obese and overweight people, by reducing the fat and preserving the muscle mass. See, the old fat weight loss process takes place just by losing a fat percentage and increasing our muscle mass. So soya protein isolate plays an important role in decreasing our fat percentage and increasing our muscle percentage in our body. So inulin is another product. It is a dietary fiber. So because it's a dietary fiber, it helps in keeping a it helps to keep increases our satiety level. It keeps us full. We will not feel like eating or binge eating snacks, because it helps in keeping our stomach full, only because it contains dietary fiber in them, and it belongs to the group of carbohydrate. Inulin helps in increasing our satiety level, makes us feel full, and also because it is from carbohydrate source, we usually tend to think that it can increase the blood sugar level, but that is wrong. It helps in keeping us full. It keeps us full for a very long time without even increasing our blood sugar level. Whey protein concentration is basically whey protein is taken from skim milk. The water, the liquid that is taken as a byproduct from cheese, the water is what we call as whey protein. Whey protein concentration is basically, I explained you, it's a mixture of protein isolated from whey, the liquid material created as byproduct of cheese production. So when a cheese is produced from milk source, the byproduct, the liquid that is seen as a byproduct is what we convert it into powder form, and then this is what we call as whey protein, and whey protein plays an important role in increasing our muscle mass and also decreasing our fat level in our body or fat percentage in our body. Vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are essential micronutrients that our body requires in its in a regular normal amount. These are required for maintenance of skin, bones, mucous membrane, hair and vision. So, micronutrient plays an important role in keeping our overall body healthy. They are cofactors in many biochemical reactions. So, like I told, to increase the rate of reactions, cofactor is enzyme plays an important role as an important role in keeping the fast level of chemical processes that takes place in our body, and vitamin and mineral helps in increasing that rate of reaction. It also helps in keeping our acid base level normal, so that it decreases. We do not have to face problem of too much of acidity, of too much of gastric that usually seen, especially if there is any digestive issues. Minerals, it also they show that there are several minerals that is obtained in lean gut that are it is a good form of minerals, and it is obtained from good sources that are more readily absorbed in the body than others. So, the kind of minerals lean gut has helps in absorbing those minerals in its in a very efficient form compared to other food sources or other supplements. So, these minerals can be selenium, zinc, chromium, iron and molybdenum. So, selenium, zinc, chromium, iron, these are all Sami Sabinsa product. So, it is since this has all these minerals in this, it helps to keep our body able to do its function in its efficient amount. Calcium caseinate helps in slow digestion property. It has slow digesting property. In this way, it helps to keep us full and we do not feel hungry. It also has L-glutamine. L-glutamine is basically an amino acid that helps in boosting our immune system and building our muscles. So, not only it helps in building our muscles, but it has a component called calcium caseinate, which also helps to increase our immunity level. It also has digestive intolerance blend. Digestive intolerance blend provide probiotics to build immunity and helps in increasing protein digestion. So, because digestive intolerance blend has a kind of microorganism like the bacteria, Bacillus coagulant, it helps in digestive process, it avoids infection that takes place in the lungs. So, these are the three types of material that digestive intolerance blend as: lactose, proteinase and lactase. They help in breaking down of protein or milk, sugar, or so that our body is able to digest it, and also helps in avoiding infections in the intestine. So, these are the functions of these three. Protease is basically, it helps in breakdown of protein, increases our amino acid level. Lactase again helps in breakdown of milk sugar. So, if there is not good amount of protease or lactase or lactospore in our digestive system, then the breakdown will not occur, and then if there is no breakdown taking place, then it can lead to other serious issues. So, it also has curcumin C3 power. Along with all the ingredients that I spoke about, it also contains curcumin C3 power. So, how curcumin C3 power is our patented product. How curcumin C3 power plays an important role as one ingredient, we will talk about it in our coming sessions. It will be our final session where we will explain you in detail how important it is that curcumin C3 power should be taken on our day to day life, so that it can show its positive effect in our body. High protein contained in lean Gard classic protein ring milks helps to increase the muscle mass and increases the lean body mass in our body. It is useful for lean weight people to gain the muscle frame by adding lean Gard classic protein drink mix. So, not only for people losing weight, but for people who are trying to gain weight also, they can take protein lean Gard classic protein drink mix. In what way? This pictorial gram will explain you. If you are trying to lose weight, you have to replace your breakfast and dinner with lean Gard classic protein drink. You can also eat salad, vegetable salad and fruits along with it. To maintain, you need to replace your dinner with our protein drink mix. Along with it, you can, like I explained you can have clear soup or vegetable salad or fruits, so that your body gets that enough of vitamins and minerals and whatever our body requires. Just by replacing it by supplement can also lead to other problems. So, it is always important that you keep a balance of having the supplement and also eating good amount of food. If you are trying to gain weight, make sure that you are taking protein supplement with all your 3 large meal. When you are taking your snack meal, again here this talks about only a large meal. So, your snacks are also very important, which again should be should be a healthy choice. You cannot eat fried food, junk food and then have the supplement and then expect a result, or not even working out and then still expect a result. That is very wrong. Maintaining a well balanced eating habits, exercising regularly and having this protein supplement will show you a wonderful clear result. So, what is the unique feature of our product? It is protein rich drink. It supports in our daily diet, helps in weight management process. It has essential micro and macronutrients for general wellness and health. This protein drink helps everyone can take it for general wellness and health, to increase their health status. Contains no added fructose. So, people contains unique digestive intolerance blend. So, people having lactase issue, lactose intolerance can also take this product, because digestive intolerance blend helps in breaking down of lactose sugar. So, how exactly do you need to take this supplement? You take about 2.5 scoops, that is almost, this is a 500 gram bottle. So, if you take about 25 gram of 2.5, that 2.5 scoop is basically is about 25 grams of, approximately 25 grams of the supplement powder, along with 200 ml of skimmed milk. So, this way you take it as a drink. It has to be definitely children about 12 years of age are only recommended to take this product, not below that. So, everyone after 12 years can definitely take this product. Again, like I explained you, it has to be taken with a sensible diet, and good amount of exercise is also required so that this product can show its effect. So, get in shape, get into the ideal body weight. Ideal body weight is according to your height, your body weight should also be balanced. So, get into shape, we are not asking you to completely lose weight, but we are asking you to stay healthy, stay within your BMI limit. Your BMI should not cross about 24, it should not be below 18. So, to focus on keeping your BMI normal, to focus on keeping your weight in the ratio of ideal body weight, you can take our product Lean Gard Classic Protein Drink Mix. So, if you have any queries, you can definitely send us a mail at sdlive@samidirect.com. Please subscribe to our channel so that you do get a notification, and then you are updated about all our products, and you are able to also convince the consumers or convince family members, friends to take these products by understanding about all this session that we take that takes place on every Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 AM. Thank you.